The 24 solar terms are the product of ancient farming civilization. There are specific terms in the calendar that indicate the change of natural rhythm. Initially, they were made according to the changing stars, and now they are made according to the position of the sun on the ecliptic. Each solar term has its own unique meaning. Now, welcome to the first episode of Lunisolar series on solar terms. Start of spring. As the saying goes, the whole year's work depends on a good start in spring. As the first of the 24 solar terms, start of spring means the beginning. In traditional Chinese culture, it also bears the beautiful implications of the recovery of all things and the praying for a good harvest. At the same time, the start of spring also marks the ending of the harsh winter, when everything is closed, and the beginning of the warm and vibrant spring. During the start of spring, the weather changes from cold to warm. Bacteria and viruses begin to grow and multiply. Many common spring diseases, such as flu, measles, and pneumonia, begin to spread. Therefore, in the beginning of spring, disease prevention and health care is also very critical. The first preventive measure we should take is to eliminate the source of infection. In addition, in daily life, we need to often open the window for ventilation to keep the indoor air clean. We also need to do more exercises to improve our immune system. In China, people like to fly kites in spring, and this traditional folk activity has a history of more than 2,000 years. Since the start of spring brings longer daytime, people think they should adjust their sleep to suit the changes in sunlight. As a popular saying goes, get up earlier and go to bed later when the spring rain comes. It means that compared with winter, we should go to bed later and get up earlier, and go outdoors more to stretch our bodies and unclog our blood vessels. In China, it is said that an egg can be set upright on the days of start of spring, spring equinox, and autumn equinox. It is believed that if someone can make the egg stand on those days, he will have good luck in the future. Spring flags are hanged in the yard, and the red spring couplets are put on the doorways and inner walls with benediction like Yingchun, welcome the spring, and Fu, fortune, to create a jubilant and warm atmosphere. This also embodies good luck. On start of spring, Chinese are used to eating spring cakes, spring rolls, lettuce and radish, which is referred to as biting spring. By biting spring, Chinese welcome the new year, get good luck, and pray for the fine weather and good harvest in the coming year. The tradition of eating spring cakes has a fairly long history. During the 6 Dynasties period, 5 spicy dishes were eaten on start of spring. And then the vital essence in human body were motivated. In the early Tang Dynasty, cakes and lettuce were placed in plates, which were called spring plates. Due to its relationship with Wu Xinpan, they were also called Xinpan. In the Song Dynasty, Chinese began to call them spring cakes, and now they are also called pancakes and lotus leaf cakes. The tradition of eating spring rolls is evolved from the custom of eating spring plate on start of spring in ancient times. There was a kind of fired pancake in Song Dynasty, which was a transitional type between spring pancake and spring roll. In Yuan Dynasty, it was recorded that spring cakes were wrapped with stuffing inside and fried. By Qing Dynasty, the name of spring roll had appeared. The spring roll is made by wrapping the stuffing with a round, thin dough roll, rolling into strips, and then frying until golden. The stuffing can be meat or vegetable, salty or sweet. People in China began holding a special ceremony on the first day of start of spring about 3,000 years ago. They made sacrifices to Goumang, the god of spring, the god of the east and vegetation, aiming to pray for a good harvest. By Qing Dynasty, greeting spring had become an important folk activity. On the first day of spring, There are customs of weeping spring, namely weeping spring carols. This rite reflects people's good expectations for a bumper harvest of grain. The custom firstly comes from the imperial family. On the first day of spring, it is said that the clay ox standing in front of the imperial palace should be broken. At that time, people took the fragments of spring cattle home, one after another, and regarded them as a symbol of good luck. This custom in Shanxi is slightly different today. It is practiced right before the start of spring. The local government hires skilled artisans and gathers them to build a frame of an ox out of bamboo strips, and the legs with wood. Then they paste some paper and paint onto it. After that, people will set up an altar for it and worship it. That's all about the start of spring. Hope that you have a better understanding of this solar term after watching our show. If you're interested, stay tuned for more of our series as we keep updating.